Howdy there, Internet people. It's the world's okayest trucker again. So yesterday we talked about why do trucks go so slowly going up the hills. But that's not the only time trucks go slower than the rest of the traffic that's moving around it. Why do some trucks not even go the speed limit, world's okayest trucker? What then? Like on the open, flat highway. What then? Why is the reason for that? Okay. Fair question. So, it's either the trucking company itself, or it's the trucking company's insurance company. And whomever is in charge makes a decision or has a requirement for all the trucks in a specific fleet to be governed. That is, there is a top speed that all of the trucks in that fleet cannot exceed under their own power. Now, coming down a hill, like we discussed yesterday, is easier, and you can accelerate well beyond the speed limit oftentimes if you're fully loaded coming down a hill. Not recommending that. Not recommending that. You are required as a driver to maintain your legal speed limit at all times. Whether you're going up a hill, doing the best you can, or coming down a hill, holding on for dear life and hoping that no four-wheeler just decides to cut in front of you and slam on their brakes. By the way, if you are a four-wheeler driver, you do like to live, don't you? Don't do that. So, my truck for my company is governed at 69 miles per hour. Meaning that under its own power, it cannot go above 69. There are the lowest speed that I am aware of that a trucking company has its trucks governed at is 65. If you know of a company that has a slower governed speed than 65, please let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. I want to learn also. Companies that I know that are governed at 65 include Prime, Schneider, Western Express. I believe Swift is still governed at 65. Now, simply because you see a trailer belonging to one of those companies that I mentioned, or one of the ones that you discover is obviously governed at 65, does not necessarily mean that the truck that's pulling that trailer is governed at that speed. Owner-operators or smaller companies will sometimes lease on their trucks to a larger company to take advantage of the dispatching and freight lanes that the larger company has already secured, but because they are bringing their own insurance with them, they are not required to have their trucks governed at the slower speed. So it will vary, but that answers the question. Also, yesterday I made a video in which I used the expression, two wrongs don't make a right. Now, for you newer truck drivers, I need to finish that expression. Two wrongs don't make a right, but three lefts do. So if you have directions, or your navigation system is telling you to make a right turn, and in your assessment as a professional driver, you believe that right turn is too tight for your truck and trailer to make that right turn, there's a good likelihood that you could go straight through that intersection and make 3 left turns to get back going in the correct direction, which effectively would be your right turn. Now, let me make this caveat. Statistically speaking, even though you have more room to make a left turn than you do to make a right turn with your truck and trailer, statistically speaking, left turns are more dangerous than right turns. If you think about it, you understand why that is. When you're making a left turn, you have to consider oncoming traffic, and you have to consider right moving traffic, and you have to consider left moving traffic. You also have to be very aware of pedestrians, cyclists, skateboarders, etc. Anyone who may be trying to move through that intersection that is not a motorist. So keep that in mind as you are making left turns. You have to be much more aware of your situation. Anyway, something to think about. Y'all have a great day.